Welcome back to the broadcast. Well, most of you have heard the phrase, happy wife, happy life. Is there something to that? This is what we want to know. So today, Dr. Nina Rios Doria is here. And okay, we say this, I say this in my house, even though I'm not the wife yet. It's like happy fiance, happy life.
Yeah.
But is there something to this?
There is, and there was a study done with over about 400 couples in their 60s, right? And they asked, you know, what makes, you know, if a wife's happy, the husband may not even necessarily be happy about the marriage, but he's happy about life. Like, he's happy with his life.
Because no one's bitching at him.
Yeah,
that's why, right? In a nutshell. Let's just say
put it out there.
And so he's fine and good. So if the husband can keep his wife happy, that is key to it, just enjoying life in general, which is good for your overall health and things like that. So
what about her keeping him happy? What about happy husband, happy life?
Don't you think it's cyclical? Because if the wife is happy, then the things that the guy think is more important, sex, stuff.
Yes.
Women are more willing to do that than if we go to bed angry.
If they're a happy wife, they're serving them dinner, they're doing things for them, they're running errands for them, and it just works. For whatever reason, they just found this is something that works. If the wife isn't happy, things aren't going to be good at home.
And it just
trickles
down to the kids and the dog and everything.
But
right?
I think it's easy to say that women set the tone of the home.
They do.
Men are so important in the home. You know, the patriarch, oftentimes the earner, the breadwinner. Oftentimes the one who doles out the discipline to the kids. More often. But we set the tone, and so is it okay for us to do that kind of gender, you know, stereotype? Or
you mean like as far as the role that we're playing and that we kind of own as mothers?
Yeah.
I think it's somewhat natural, but I do think it's important to have some balance in a marriage. And I think it's also important, we just want everyone to be happy and healthy in a marriage. Like, how can we keep our marriage happy? Because we all know, we're all married, there's going to be conflict in marriage.
And you were going to give us some tips, right?
Yeah.
Like, because I told you that in the break, that when Ryan and I are having our disagreements, we call it intense fellowship.
Yes. Yeah.
Sometimes we just, I need space.
Yeah. You need space.
And he's great because he will back off. Now, sometimes I might need to say, back off. Right?
So,
but Dr. Communication, and communication is everything.
It is key. And Dr. John Gottman, who I've mentioned in the past, that studied marriage for 40 years, what he has found is the people that stay together, marriages that stay together, they repair the conflict after they argue. So number one, he says, you need space. You can't say sorry right away because you know you're not going to mean it.
Right.
You're saying sorry, but you're not really.
Because you just don't want to be fighting
you're
anymore,
done.
not for what
so
you've done.
Take that break and then meet up again and sit down and say, let's talk about that conflict. And what you do is the first person goes and I'll say, like, you know what, I felt disrespected, I felt hurt, and this was my perception of the argument. And then your spouse says, yeah. And then your spouse kind of says, okay, if I was in your shoes, okay, if that's what you perceived, I can see why you'd feel that way. And now it's the spouse's turn to say, well, let me tell you how I felt. I felt attacked, I felt hurt, and because this was my perception of what just happened. And then I go and say, okay, if that was your perception,
if I were in your shoes, I can see how you'd feel.
Yes.
I love that you just did that role playing for us, because oftentimes, like if Scott and I get in an argument and we try to revisit it to make up, it turns into another argument because we're not communicating properly. But that is so great to just to have those words to say, like, it was my perception, this is how it seemed to me, and then for him to say, if I were in your shoes, I get it, I would feel the same way.
And your perception trumps what they were really trying to say.
Well, my perception is my truth, right?
Yeah,
it's the way
your perception is your truth, and his perception is his truth, and you both are allowed to feel what you felt. And so then you do that, and the following thing is you each take take responsibility for one thing in that conflict. Like, you know what? My tone, I could have been calmer when I, attacked. My tone wasn't appropriate. I was disrespectful. You're right.
That's good. So even when you think you're right, all the time,
to take a responsibility.
It's okay to find something.
Find something.
Find one thing.
You know, there's a quote. There's a quote. I'm sorry doesn't mean you're right and I'm wrong. It means I care more about the relationship than my ego.
Sure.
You know.
Yeah.
And so just something to think about. So, but anyways, in the final step, so take responsibility and then say you're sorry, because then you're going to receive that apology a lot better. And then ask each other, what can we do differently next time? And so those are the steps he talks about that can really repair a conflict, and that those are the marriages that are successful and happy. And happy is good for your overall health as you get older, and reduces stress and all those other things.
I love
Happy
those
wife,
steps.
happy life.
I'm going to commit those to memory, and then I'm going to let you know how it goes next
You need to
time.
write those little steps on sticky notes and stick them on the mirror.
I'm telling you, they're helpful.
No, I'm going to share that with Scott when I get home. Okay, you can get in touch with Dr. Nina by going to our website, thebroadcasttv.com.
All right, what goes better than a glass of wine and a good read?
I don't know.
Well, us, I don't know. Well, we've got more when the broadcast comes back.